Hello dear student, I hope you are fit and fine. Welcome to this online session of 10th standard, and the book which we are referring is First Flight. I hope you are doing well at your home and you are learning in this online session and in this pandemic days by the help of your internet medium as well as your cell phone and other smartphone, smart book, whatever the smart gadget you are using from the devices. So I hope you are fit and fine. Once again at your home you are safe, maintaining all the safe distance and observing and following also the guideline which is provided by our state and central government. Okay, so today's topic is depending upon the very beautiful interesting lesson. Now what is that very beautiful interesting lesson? The lesson is all about a pet whose name is Mijbil. You can call it like Miji. So let's see which kind of lesson is this. As I'm showing you on the screen, you can access the whole of the textbook of NCERT 10th Standard English First Flight on your mobile screen or whatever your laptop or computer screens. So now let's see on the textbook. So this textbook will show you the detailed theory related to the concept of Mijbil the Otter. Lesson number 8, which is given Maxwell. Mr. Maxwell lives in a cottage in California, same as in the West Highlands in the Scotland. When his dog Johnny died, Maxwell too became sad. To think of him keeping a dog again was a different kind of thing, but the life without a pet was lonely for him. Therefore, he actually went more further. More than a dog, he bought a different kind of a pet. What was that? That was an otter. Now if you don't know what is kind of otter, then I can tell you, otters are often found near the Tigris Hill and the Marshallese riverside. Now these animals are a sort of not an animal which you can keep at home, but if you are good well and if you are a perfect person who can train this kinds of animal, obviously you are also able to make this animal to be friendly with you and to keep at your home too. So this is how we can say the first line itself says that we should be humble, we should be clear, we should be very respectful towards the nature, animal and all the things which are related to this nature. And that is only the one mantra of your life and my life, our all life. So if you think everything brutal towards the animal, if you kill the animal, if you hate the animal, if you are gonna puzzle the animal, then it is not the thing which we are actually called the human beings. So we should learn this kinds of thing, that without hurting any kind of animal, how can we be a friend of that? So this is all the lesson about. Let me scroll the page number. It shows you the detailed theory. See, the first thing says that owning a pet in lifetime is it's like a commitment. You are committing something. See, I personally own the pets. As you know all, I'm a nature lover. So whenever I get my time, I go in the nature. Apart from that, whenever I meet myself, I just talk myself and I ask myself, why I am a human being, and the answer is that because we can help the nature, we can help the poor and needy people, we can help the animals. That is only the thing, we are actually the human beings. So God has made us so curious, so kind, so helpful, pitiful, and also we need to go every on the positive formulas. So this is how we can say, if you keep a dog, you first of all need to get a license according to the government regulations and all. Apart from that, you need to go for the annual vaccination also, because dogs are consisting the rabies virus and all. You need to go for the toilet training also, otherwise your dog will be doing here and there anyway toilet. So that's how we can say you need to train first of all. Obedience is the best thing which you can train to the animals. So the lesson is starting from the first topic, which is making you to listen and understand the part number first of the lesson. So early in the new year 1956, we're talking about 1956, I is referred to the author, means Maxwell. I traveled to the south of Iraq. By then it had like crossed my whole of the mind that I should like to keep an otter instead of keeping a dog. Now why this idea came? A dog can be an animal which can puzzle you, always barking and all. Otter is an animal which will not produce maximum sound. It will produce a very low beats of the sound. And somehow we can say, okay, and that was like Camps Farina, ringed by water stone and its door also. So somehow we can say that would be amenity suitable for an experiment also, where he was leaving that area was suitable to keep an animal which is out belonging to that. So when I casually mentioned this to my friend, mentioning means when he discussed this to his friend, as casually replied that I had better get on it from the Tigris marshes. It means that he said that I can be getting that from the Tigris marshes, from the different part of the area. For there, they were common as were the going to see like mosquitoes and all. Like mosquitoes are here and there like that. In the Tigris marsh or Tigris marshes, you can find otters common there. So for they were commonly known as like the mosquitoes, and were often tamed also by the Arab people. So Arabian people were taming this otter at home. So this is like an amphibian. It's a water animal but can be living under the water, over the water also. So therefore, I collected the answer from the mail and I consulted the general governor, and we find my friend, one of the mail that arrived that, and he had said me also to provide me that kind of animal, or that kind of we can say a sort of a pet. So I cabled to England. Cable to England means I'm trying to go to reach England, to talk in England, and then 3 days later nothing happened. When my call was not received, 3 days happened, nothing happened. I tried to telephone once again I cabled. The call had to be booked 24 hours in advance, and on the first day the line was out of order, the second day the exchange was closed, and the third day it was a religious holiday. So somehow I was not able to connect till the third day also. Now I arranged to meet a friend at a time. So 5 days later the mail arrived. Now I carried it to my bedroom to read. There was squeaking on the floor, and there were 2 Arabs besides them lay a sack and squirm from the time to time, and they handed me a note from my friend. Here's your otter. It means along with the mail I got a bag, a sack bag. Something was making some flapping sound inside. What was that? I was curious to know. Then 2 of the Arabian people were there. They delivered my otter. They said that here is my otter. There's a baby otter. Now second topic says that, you can focus, I'm scrolling the page. Second topic says that with the opening of the sack bag, see sack bag, or we can say sack is actually a kind of a gunny bag. Okay, it is properly made by jute, and apart from that, these kinds of things are easily able to keep the animals. It is ventilated, airy, organic. So therefore I generally I opening the sack and began a phase to it just entered like a phase of my life that has not yet ended, and it can go more further also. So a thalodrome of the otter, an otter fixation that I have since found be shared by most of the other people who have ever owned one. It was like an old-fashioned things, a thalodrome, an old-fashioned things to keep an otter. But to be very strong, a fixation we can say, I was happy to have that. The creature that emerged from this sack, the spacious titled the floor of the consulted bedroom, resembled most of all the very small and medievally conceived like a dragon, and from the head to the tip of his body, you can see from the head to the tip of his body, it was a tail which was coated with the symmetrical pointed scales of mud and armor. Means it was like a scale coated, and like it was a dirty otter, okay, mud with armor. Between those tips was visible a soft velvet fur, like that one of the chocolate brown mole, like a big rat. It was looking like, okay, chocolate brown color of the mole. So he shook himself and half expected a cloud of dust. Shook himself means shaking himself, and when all the dust came out, the otter also came out. The author Maxwell was funnily, amazingly looking towards that animal, that otter. And for the first 24 hours, Mijbil was neither hostile nor friendly. It was not so friendly also, neither living alone. So he was simply aloof and indifferent, choosing to sleep on the floor as far as from my bed as possible. And the second night, Mijbil came onto my bed and smelled hours and hours here and there. And somehow, laterally, it snacked inside my bed and slept. So that's how my knees, until the servant brought the tea, Mijbil was there only on my bed. And during the day, he began to lose apathy and take keep keen interest in the surroundings also. In the daytime, it was looking here and there, everywhere, my garden, my kitchen, my bedroom, everywhere. Mijbil was going here and there. I made a body belt for him so that I can take him outside for the bathroom or for the you can say general walk also, as he was rolling and lolling his tail here and there, and he was always moving with me. So shooting up down length with the bathtub and under there, making enough slosh and splash from for a small hippo. So whenever Mijib found water, he was making some splash, doing all the kind of mischievous thing. And this I was actually to learn is the characteristics of the otter. So I came to know that otters are very friendly towards the water, and they mostly need the water to play and to also make their body low in the temperature. So that is how extended spread over every places to places, and somehow it was not a condition where Mijib was making himself to comfort. So Mijib sometime was also trying to get a big bathtub so that Mijib was making himself comfortable. So a ball must be once be overtuned by him, and that's how, or it will not be overtuned, be set on the splosh, and until the overflows, water must be kept on the move and made do the things for the mischievous things. So static was wasted and provoking also. So Mijib was actually a kind of a sort of pet which was, see, you can see it out, you can check it out, how the otters are in their natural habitats. So Mijib was what doing? Mijib was sometimes opening the tail, opening the tap also, and trying to get the water until the water not splashing out of the tub or whatever the big jar was there. And he was always trying to get inside the tub or the big container where the water could make himself feel comfortable. So that's the condition. 2 days later, Mijib escaped from my bedroom as I entered. When I entered in my bedroom, Mijib was running somewhere else, and I turned to see him, his tail disappearing from the behind the corridor led in the bathroom. So when I saw, where is the boy? And I saw the small tail disappearing from the corner of my bathroom. So it means that Mijib was there in the bathroom. So by the time I got there, I was ended up with a bathtub and fumbling, crumbling taps with his paw, means trying to open the taps, and I watched amazed. In the less than a minute he had turned up a tap for the enough producing a trickle of water. Means now Mijib was able to open the tap and get the water also. So that's how, with the full flow achieved, and Mijib was dancing there, he was bathing also. So that's the condition we can say. Luckily, to turn the tap right way, he was knowing. So on the later occasion, he would sometimes screw it up still tighter and clattering with the irritation, disappointment. Sometimes he was not able to open also tap, sometimes he was opening the tap. So that's the condition where Mijib was making his all the kinds of friendly gesture towards the author and his room as well as the bathroom also, plus the tap too. And very soon Mijib would follow me. Obviously, my dear students, whenever you are having a pet, it will follow you. When it love you, it will lick you also on your hands, try to climb you, do the mischievous things and all. So very soon Mijib would follow me without a lead and come to me when I called his name. He spent most of his time in the play. He spent hours stuffing with the rubber ball round and round in the room, forth to the footed saucer, and also playing using all the kinds of forfeits. So that's what's a kind of a powerful kick from the neck also to surprise and make a height of distance. But the real play of an otter is when he lies in the back and juggles the small objects between his paws. Means sleeping back and juggling, making a juggling, means he's throwing the object and trying to roll over the legs and his paws. So with a small object between the paws. Marbles were Mijib's favorite toys for the pastime. Marbles means small marbles. He would lie on his back, rolling 2 or 3 of them, and widely he was doing this with the flat belly without dropping any one of them. So Mijib was a kind of a joker also in short of time. Now the third point says that the day passed. Peacefully the day passed at Bursa. And now, but I decided to transport Mijib to England. And now I was going from the Bursa, Iraq to the England. So now England and to Camisphena. So therefore the British airline to London would not fly any animal. That is the risk, and that is the rule also of the British. Not only British, see, my dear student, sometimes the animals are not allowed on the flight when we are boarding on the flight. Okay, so the British airline London would not fly any animals. So I booked a flight to Paris, another airline, and from there to the London, because Paris airline was allowing. So the box not more than an 18 inches square to be carried out on the floor at my feet, and I had made the box also as per the guidance of the airline officers. I made the box and I made to sit on the floor at my feet. I had a box, and then hours before we started, so I put Mijib into the box so that he would become accustomed to it, and left it so much hurried with the meal. And like Mijib was eating, I kept internally the meal also, so that the Mijib could not panic himself. He can eat whenever he is feeling hungry. So when I returned, there was an appealing spectacle. Means something was wrong. When I returned after keeping the bag, something was wrong. There was a complete silence from the box, but it was the air holes, and with the chinks around the lid, blood had trickled and dried. Means I saw some of the blood was sticking out of the box. So what was the condition? I whispered of, locked and tore upon the Mijib's lid. Miji, exhausted and blood spattered, whimpered and caught at my legs. He torn the leanings of the boxes of the shirts and I removed the last of it, and there was no cutting edges left inside that. So it was just a 10 minutes until the time of the flight, and the airport was 5 miles distance. So I put miserable Miji back into the box, and holding down with the lead with my hand, I entered inside the flight. It means that Miji was not feeling comfortable inside that, and something was making him hurt. That's why some of the blood came out and he was not feeling well. So the person who was holding the Miji broke the box, and he took Miji in his own luggage, and he just went inside the flight. So I sat in back with the car boxes with me as a driver tore through the streets of the Bursa like ricocheting. It means like a bullet changing direction with the hitting of the surface. The driver also made to go me very faster. I was rushed through by the invading officers. Luckily, the seat booked for me was 5 minutes external, not late that much. So I covered the floor around the feet and newspaper rag for the air hostesses, and also I parceled the fish for Miji so that Miji could eat there. So he is making all the kinds of attempts and keeping Miji also with him. I took her into my confidence about the event to last for the half hour. Means he was holding Miji for the half an hour, and therefore literally I have returned the most profound admiration for the air hostesses, and she was the very queen of the kind, and she suggested that I could have kissed her hand in the depth of my gratitude. But not knowing Otter, I was quite unprepared for the following. So she also guided me. It means the girl is the hostage, air hostage are guiding him. How can he keep the order? And therefore he is feeling so good for the for this air hostess that he's saying that okay, this air hostess are having so beautiful nature. How they guided me, so delightful. I'm getting love for them in my heart. I could have kissed her hand, but unfortunately I'm holding Miji in my hand. So, but knowingly Otter, I was quite unprepared for that. Later, see here, you can see one of the condition. I'll show you out here how the Otter is making everybody puzzled in the flight. Miji was out of the box in a flash. When I kept there, the flight was about to take off. Miji came out. He disappeared at a high speed down with the aircraft. There were squeaks. There is a kind of a sound, okay, and running here and there, screaming out, a rat, a rat. I caught sight of Miji's tail disappearing beneath the legs of the portly white turban Indian person. It means a Punjabi was sitting there wearing a hat, means turban, and he saw that near his leg the Miji was there. Everybody shouted, a rat, a rat. See, if you don't know a proper kind of an animal, obviously after seeing the otter you will call it like rat. So here a Punjabi person is meeting. So when he is meeting to a Punjabi person, that Punjabi person is actually, the Papaji is actually worried about that. So diving for it, I missed but found my face covered with the curry. So when he was, see what is happening here, a rat, a rat, a rat. So when he was actually diving to catch the rat, he went and put his mouth inside the curry. Means somebody was trying to eat there and he put his mouth. Perhaps, said the hostess with the most charming smile, it would be better if you resume your seat and I will find your animal, bring you back. Again the girl stole my heart like that. He's just saying that again I feel that so attached with that air hostesses, because she was so kind to me, she was so good to me, and she was telling me, sir, you please have your seat, we'll find your animal, you don't worry. Though I was covered with the curry, so I returned to my seat and I was cleaning my neck, trying to follow the hunt, and when suddenly I heard from my feet a distressed chittering sound, I recognized that Miss Mijbil was pounded to me in my knees and began to nuzzle my face and my neck also. So in this condition, Miji is coming to him and he is just rubbing his face over his neck and all, and the man is actually puzzled. So this is the condition, we can say. The four topics is that after an interaction of this kinds of, or after a new experience about Miji in the flight, the man was quietly frustrated also, and he was not that a kind of a angry person, neither a happy person. And after that, after having this kinds of incidentful and eventful journey, Maxwell and his otter reached London. Now what is going to happen? Let's check it out. Miji and I remained in London for nearly a month, 31 days. He would play for hours and hours with the selection of the toys and all, ping pong balls, marbles, as marble was the favorite one, as I said you, rubber, fruit, and also with the tapering shells I had bought from him back from the native marshes. So with the ping pong ball, he invites a game to his own, which he could keep himself engaged. And that's how we can say a suitcase also that I had taken to Iraq had become a damage so from the journey. So that was also kind of a lid which was closed, remaining like a slope, and from one end to another Mijbil was also making some kinds of funny we can say gesture upon him, or sliding also. So Mijbil discovered that if the place of the ball was on the high end to run down the length of the suitcase, he would dash around the other end and ambush it to the arrival. Means he's keeping the other end to the suitcase and let the marble roll down. And again he was catching, again he was doing, crouching to the spring and taking it by the surprise, holding the spring, looking very surprised, grabbing with the trot of it and high on the ends to the more one end, and he was making to pass his time, and he was busy in always playing. So outside the house I exercise him on the lead day. It means that he was exercising him daily, regularly. So as I said you, okay, outside the house I exercised him on the leg precisely, and if he had been a dog, Mijbil quickly developed certain compulsive habits to walk also on the London streets. So like the rituals of the children who also generally like they walk slowly and they run also. So Mijbil was also a kind of a pet which was needing to learn how to walk on the streets. So in their way to and from the school must be placed with their feet squaring on the center of each paving blocks, must touch every seventh upright of the iron railings and all. So Mijbil was also doing like that. Whenever like children are coming, small kids, they touch the iron pillar, they make their tap flatter, they make their tapping sound on the ground and all. Same thing Mijbil was also doing. The opposite of to my flat, he was also one of the singles. He was also kind of a single animal, which was a kind of a unique animal, a different animal, an animal which was actually very knownly located to that. So therefore to my flat was a single storied primary school, and along with whose frontage ran to a low wall to the high fields also. So on this way home, but never on his way out, so Mijbil would tug me to this wall, jump out of it, and also gallop the full length of its 30 yards, means try to run in that wall and all. So to the hopeless distraction both the pupil and staff within, they also mean school staff, sometimes he was playing with the boys and all, sometimes roaming on the streets with me, he was trying to catch the other people, touch the other people also. So Mijbil was a kind of pet which was always trying to do some kinds of different thing. Now it is not a kind of surprise, it was a general thing, because Mijbil was living with me means Maxwell. So I supposed in any way strange that the average Londoner should not recognize it an otter, but the variety of the guesses as what kind of animal that was might be came to a surprise to me. Means whoever saw Mijbil were thinking that it's not an otter, but what they said is a kind of surprise to me. Now see, otters belonging to a completely small group animal, and that's how we can say they don't know animals, so people don't know maximum about the otter. So therefore otter belongs to the comparative small group of the animal called mustelines, shared by a badger, mongoose, whales, stork, mink, or other animals. Shared means what? Coming from the family of, okay, it can be family of, we can say, whales, then mongoose, and other otters also. So I face a continuous barrage of the conjectural questions that spread all over mustelines, but the otter. More the random guesses, a baby seal and also a squirrel. Isn't it a walrus, mister? So people were making me a different surprises. People are talking about the differently, and I was surprised about that. Most of them, they were talking about, isn't it a seal? Somebody could say it's a hippo, baby hippo. Somebody could say, what is that? A kind of a walrus. Is it a walrus? So reducing me to the giggles, and outside a dog showed I heard a hippo, a beaver, a bear cub, a leopard, etc. and etc. I also heard that some people were calling him a hippo, some were calling a leopard. Oh my god, how can they call this leopard? Then beaver also. Beaver is also kind of a otter's family, okay, living inside the cold zone and all. The tongue, the tail is very flat enough, which is easily making them to go from one place to another in the water. So that's the kind of a thing. So it was a strange thing which I heard from the people. Now, but the question for Mijbil was nothing than an otter, very cute little animal. So, but the question for which I awarded highest score came from a laborer digging the hole in the street. Means a laborer gave me a question There was one of the dangerous, one of the risky, one of the very funny question. Okay, I was still far from him when he laid down his tool. Laying down the tool means he stopped working. A person who was digging up the soil or doing some kinds of work at the roadside just stopped to work. Now, why it stopped to work? See, sometime when we see something strange, something different, something unique, we stuck our eyes on that. We forget our work also. I was still far from him, and he put his hand on the hips and began to stare. Stare means looking to my otter. Drew nearer, he came nearer, and I saw his expression of surprise afront. I saw his eyes were surprised to see my otter. As though he would have me known, he was not like one of upon whom played the jokes. He was also not knowing me, so how can he play the jokes also? So he is asking. He came abreast to him, and he spat glad, and then he growled out, "Here's mister, what is that supposed to be?" And he is saying that, "What is that, mister? Can you tell me, what is that?" So this is the condition. It is a condition where nobody knows about the otter, and nobody is also knowing that what kind of animals are the otter. Okay, so here are some kinds of extra questions. You can solve it out by yourself. Grammatical questions are there, and also we can say laterally we can get some kinds of information also. Then speaking are there, writing are there. These all you can things you can do by yourself, my dear student. This lesson is, I hope, over, and I hope you understood this lesson, because the lesson consists of very beautiful animal, that is the otter, and its name is Mijbil. That's why we call it like Mijbil the Otter. So I hope you are, if you are not an animal lover, if you are not a nature lover, then obviously you must keep yourself to become like that, because loving nature or animal or pets are one of the things which will make you to be away from the all bad mentalities and all, because you will be becoming so humble if you feed an animal daily, and that will give you so peace of mind. So keep pity for the animals, and also keep kindness for the animal. Try to help them. If you found any animal in the danger, try to call the animal we can say protection act department also, so PETA, that they will help you to here. So that's a condition. This lesson is not only showing you one of the story related to the Maxwell and the Mijbil the otter, but also showing you the kindness of the humanity, and that is how I am teaching you. So take care, keep revising, and also maintain the guideline of COVID-19, and be safe, be healthy. Thank you.